But certain techniques which will help us in terms of using Kaizen positively is also in our workplace, which we can use is things like interacting much more with nature. Right? It's a very important technique. It's a very important part of connecting with the nature that will help us have a positive outlook towards the world. Right? So nowadays, a lot of offices are coming up where they're talking about open spaces, not air-conditioned spaces. I mean, unfortunately, in this part of the world, you cannot afford to not have air conditioning. But a lot of other offices are coming up now where you're spending a lot of time in the outdoors. You're working in nature. You're working with nature. You're doing activities with nature. The way your offices are lit as well. There should be a lot of sunlight. We should be spending a lot of time with the sun. We should be spending a lot of time with nature, with natural lights. Right? That has a very positive impact on our minds. And maybe some of you are architects and stuff who could kind of tell us that the importance of lighting today. Natural lighting is so important in terms of maintaining a positive mindset towards any problem that you are doing. Simple things like going for a walk, right? Taking phone calls and walking parallelly, right? Taking a break, meditating for 5 minutes itself during lunch breaks, for example. Okay, meditation doesn't necessarily require you to get into that whole depth of spiritual mode, but just simply closing your eyes, shutting your phone off, closing your eyes and sitting quietly for 5 minutes itself re-energizes you. Reading positive books about success, happiness, self-improvement, self-growth, adapting hobbies, adapting activities, meeting positive people. These are all ways and means of how you can enhance your work self as well, your professional self as well, as part of the Kaizen technique. Okay, interestingly, what Kaizen talks about in terms of making money as well. Lots of us have, various ways of how we look at money. Money has a different definition for different people, right? But in a nutshell, there are 3 basic things that Kaizen talks about when it comes to making money. Buy what you need. We need to start decluttering our homes, our minds, our lives in a fashion, because we have a habit as human beings to keep on accumulating things, keep on grabbing things, right? We keep on grabbing things from time to time. We can simply go on a shopping spree. We will end up buying things which we don't require. So one of the key things in terms of positive Kaizen is buy what you need. Reuse what you can. Another important thing that is part of the Kaizen philosophy is that we need to reuse what we can. It's not necessary for us to every time go and buy. Last is discard or donate what we do not require. Because there are lots of things in our lives which we just don't need. These techniques may directly not help you make money, but any money saved is also money earned. When you're buying things unnecessary, you're losing money. You're not saving that money. Again, relationships. Right? Very touchy topic, very sensitive topic. A lot of us have gone through ups and downs. All of us have gone through ups and downs. There is nothing called perfect relationship in this world. Okay? We also have problems with our parents. Let's start there. There is none of us will say, oh, I love my parents to the core, and whatever they say is fine. Doesn't happen. We all want to change them, or they want to change us. Right? Simple. We've all gone through that. Just talk about that relationship. Does that mean you give it up? No. Slowly and steadily you try to bring about a change in that. Probably you adapt certain changes, the other person adapts certain changes, and that's how life kind of continues. Relationship is not only about what happens between a man and a woman, it's also about what happens of how you interact with the outside world. It could be between friends, could be between colleagues, it could be between other people as well that we meet, brothers, sisters, siblings, friend circle, social people that we meet, etc. There are always certain things in relationships that we would like to change, but they always happen in slow and steady fashion. We don't expect the other person to change overnight. One of the root causes of anger in our life is not because we are angry on someone else. We are angry because we are not able to bring about that change in them.
Ourselves. You are judging. If you are judging outside, you are judging yourself.
You are judging yourself. Because anger is usually directed towards your own self. Your own inability to bring about a change in the other person. And that's what causes a lot of problems in relationships. which we need to address slowly and steadily by asking the right questions. Right? So, to conclude, there are a few ways in which Kaizen tells us to bring about a happy life. Certain things which we can adapt in our lives. If we do that, slowly and steadily we'll see a lasting change that comes in. Okay? First and foremost, change what's causing misery. If something's causing misery in life, something's causing unhappiness in life, bring about a change. That's the only way. You cannot be stuck into something and then expect your life to be better. Not possible. No matter how hard that decision is, you're the only person who's going to change. So change what's causing you misery. Number two, do what makes you happy. Bring about positive things in your life. Do things that bring about happiness and joy in your life. Pick up a hobby. Extremely important. Right? We all think we have no time for hobbies. I have many of my clients who come and tell me this. We don't have time for anything. People who tell me we don't have time are the ones who are fooling time themselves, who are fooling themselves. Right? We all have time for everything. It's a matter of how we prioritize it and how we use it. Having a hobby is a fantastic way to bring about a balance in our life as well. It's in fact one of the main things we also use as a technique in logotherapy, where creativity, focusing on creativity, being creative, is actually something that brings about a balance in our minds. Make activity friends. It's again very important as a part of bringing about a change in our lives. Make someone else responsible for your success or your growth. So for example, we spoke about going to the gym, right? Most of us fail because we just take the step ourselves alone and then we forget about it. But imagine if we have a gym buddy. We have somebody. We're part of a group. We're part of a group that's pushing us, right? That's waking us up every morning and saying, let's go. Take the simple example of going to the school, right? As kids, why did we end up going to schools in a lot of instances is because they were friends, right? We all hated school, but the whole idea of going out and then doing things with your friends, right? Engaging with them, going to school with them, going in a school bus, forming a circle of your own, doing activities there, right? In a way, we were all responsible for each other. So if we use that same philosophy and appoint someone else to also keep a tab on our success and our growth, is also a great Kaizen way to understand that we will bring about change. So if we are able to have activity friends, we'll be able to do things better in our lives. And we'll be able to bring about happiness because you also get the joy of companionship with other people, friendship with other people. And that is also something that is important in a Kaizen work because if you see, it's a methodological process. If one person is responsible for the nuts, the other person is responsible for the bolts, the third person is responsible for the cleaning, all of them are interdependent. If the person has not tightened the nut and bolt, this guy can't go about cleaning and polishing the whole thing. Right? So it's also about making each other responsible. That you do your job so I can do mine. That's another way of looking at how Kaizen can bring about happiness in our life. So have activity friends. Have friends who are going to keep a tab on you, and that's how you're going to make progress in life. So that in short is what Kaizen will teach you. It'll tell you how to bring about changes in your life. Each of us can adapt these changes in our own methods, in our own ways. It can be subjective. Like I said in the beginning, happiness is defined or growth is defined differently by different people. It's up to you how you want to define it and how you want to adapt it in your own way of life.